Hey all, it's John. Welcome back. Appreciate you checking out the video. This is video number 3. We're going to flip around the camera here in just a minute and check out this week's pickups, things that I got between last Thursday and today. Before I do that, I just want to talk about a little bit about the channel and what I'm hoping for in 2023. I'll be brutally honest, I love the online YouTube sports card community. I think that there's some great personalities, there's some great channels. And, one of the things that I think that I've missed in the last couple of years is, I'm kind of in my own little bubble. My friends that I have aren't sports card collectors. If they were, it was years ago when they were all kids. Most of my friends, they don't quite understand the whole sports card aspect of what I like to do and my participation in the hobby. I don't love going to the local shows here in Denver or around Denver. I went to 2 of them this year. There's just better opportunities to purchase online, and that's the God's honest truth. The prices in the Denver marketplace are slightly overinflated, and a ton of modern. And modern's not, I'm not anti-modern, but it's certainly not my thing. Definitely more of a vintage collector. I'll be honest, looking to try and potentially grow the community or grow my community. And that's partially why I'm doing these videos. And I'm going to look to do a couple of them over the course of the next 12 months. That said, let's go ahead and flip around the camera and let's take a look at the cards. Okay, I think I've got 1 NBA, 4 Major League Baseball, and just a small stack of NFL cards that we'll talk about. So as we go through them, I'll kind of explain how they fit my collection. And we're going to start with this 1981 Topps Kevin McHale rookie card. McHale is a Hall of Famer. So it fits in my Hall of Fame collection. He's also a top 75 NBA player, which I do collect slightly different between just the regular Hall of Famers and the top 75 guys. If you're a top 75 guy, I'm generally looking for a graded version of your card. And generally, I like to kind of mirror up the grade number with the decade that it came from. Now, I know that doesn't necessarily line up here. Some of that's price dependent. This card I just got for such a good deal that it didn't make sense to necessarily spend the extra money for a PSA 8 this is a very, very clean copy of this card. So sometimes you look to save $1 or $2, and I'm not the biggest guy that's married to the whole grading company aspect of things, specifically because it's all opinion based. And on a card like this, raw, this is probably just a card that's $5 or less. You're spending basically a $10 premium to get it graded in a PSA 7. I'll take the premium price for the graded version. PSA 8, you're probably paying a $20, $30 premium. I'll save the few bucks. This is a nice looking card, and I'm super happy to have that one in the NBA Hall of Fame Top 75 collection. Let's move to baseball. All right, so kind of a sub collection I've been working on just throughout 2022. I'm not done with it as of yet. I probably started this around the start of the baseball season last season. Look to try and get most of it completed this year, but the 1960s Topps set, I have been doing kind of a sub collection of all of the Hall of Fame players from that set. If I pick up some of the managers here or there, so be it. Right now, I'm really just focused on the players. And the Stan Musial, I think, is the biggest name from the set that I was missing. And so I picked up this version. It's not a perfect card. The centering and presentation doesn't look terrible. A little off-centered from top to bottom if you look at it, this way. The right to left isn't terrible. Corners have been loved, right? In this condition, this is, I don't know, about a $20 card. I end up buying them in a lot, so I think I got a little bit of a discount there, and then I saved some money on some shipping. for the 4 cards that I'm going to show you. But I think Stan was the biggest named Hall of Famer that I was missing. Maybe not the most valuable, but the biggest named Hall of Famer that I was missing from the set. So, got the Aaron, I have the Mays, I have the Mantle. So I was pretty happy to pull the trigger on this one. Also picked up the Al K line. Now the centering on this one's a little bit worse than the usual, but the corners are in much better condition. But the price point was something it's hard to walk away from certain cards when you're working with a seller and you're getting deeper discounts by buying more volume from them. So this will be, I may replace this one in the future if I find just a better copy at a fair price, but pretty happy to add this one, and it gets me that much closer to having this Hall of Fame 1960 set done. The Dick Williams, he is a Hall of Famer as well. And the 1959 Ed Matthews, the 59 set might be the next set that I kind of do, go and try and get all the Hall of Famers on. I haven't 100% determined what I'm going to do there. But I kind of like collecting the Hall of Famers in certain sets. I was born in 78, so the first set that I kind of did that with was the 1978 set. I just wanted to have all of the Hall of Famers from that year. And the 1960 set was kind of the next set that I had done that with. 59 is probably where I'm going to go next. But this card, Eddie Matthews is just such underrepresented as far as the price points of his cards in the hobby. So this was dirt cheap. I mean, it was too good of a value to pass up and not pull the trigger on. And like I said, I might do the 59 set next. We're going to briefly just talk about the some football cards. I haven't put these ones in, plastics quite yet. I think I'm actually going to run out of the top loaders. But these are some of these cards. Most of the Steelers cards that you're going to see here I already had. I am looking to upgrade when I see good, nicely centered, good surface, strong corners. I have been looking to upgrade some of the early 70s cards. But what you're going to see in this stack is not only Steelers cards, which I'm a Steelers fan, and so I collect kind of the prime year Steelers, the 1970s Steelers specifically. I'm trying to get a decade set for each of those years for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Already had these, but this is a second year Terry Bradshaw. It's a card that's been selling for a bit of a premium. It's not, it's raw. It's a $20 card or less, depending upon condition. But it is one of those cards that a card is nicely centered, and I believe this one's in pretty strong shape as far as surface is concerned. A card like this has been selling for a little bit of a premium, so it's easy to pull the trigger on it. And I think this one certainly is in a better overall condition than the one I had previously. So, that'll go into the collection. It'll fit in that very nicely in my Steelers collection. Mean Joe Green, this one's a little off-centered left to right, top to bottom. I think my other one's probably in better shape, but, good strong card again, just clean surface, good corners. And then the other cards that you're going to see here, not all of them, but the other cards, and I believe all of these are, there's a mixed bag of cards here, but most of the quarterbacks that you're going to see, these are going to be 72s. Didn't have the Johnny U. I believe this might be his last Colts card, but that will go into my decade set for Hall of Fame quarterbacks. So there's the Johnny U, George Belanda, Hall of Fame quarterback. Len Dawson centering's not perfect on the next two cards. The Sonny Jurgensen as well. And typically I would have probably passed on these cards if I was just looking at them as individuals. But when you're buying them in a lot and you're buying each card for basically $1 or so, it's easy to go ahead and pull the trigger when you're working on more of a bulk deal. And the rest of these cards, there's nothing here that's crazy. These are just kind of 70 Steelers. I probably have all of these, generally speaking. The Dwight White's the only, Dwight White, hell of a football player, defensive end for the Steelers, kind of that steel curtain defense. I believe he's in the Ring of Honor. I have this card already, but this is a very nice looking version of it, so it may be better than the one I already had. And again, the rest of these are, you know, just kind of 70s cards that you're paying. I think I paid like 50 cents a card. And some of them probably aren't worth 50 cents. The Dwight White certainly is. This is his rookie card. But, you know, 50 cents a card, if I'm getting good, clean versions, that, you know, centering is great, surface is strong, corners are in excellent shape, you know, it's just tough to pass on good, beautiful cards. Okay, so that's this last week's pickups. If you're still here, I appreciate it. I genuinely do. Just want to say you could have been doing almost anything else. You chose to spend a few minutes with me. I'm genuinely humble and appreciative if you've chosen to spend some time with me. That said, we'll catch you in the next video.